Darkness has descended upon the city, and the creatures of the night have begun to stir. This is the time when the veil between the realms of the living and the dead is the thinnest, and all that is not what it appears to be. Like a lone sentinel, one candle flickers in the night, revealing all that lurks in the darkness. This is Ghost Chronicles, Book of Shadows. Welcome to the nightmare.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I am that lone candle flickering in the night. And with me, the wicked wicked witch from the West is Marla Brooks. And I am
Yes.
Rod Cork, and you're not. So
Yes, I'm not. Thank God, yeah.
Yeah. And before I get started, I want to wish a big happy birthday to our old producer, Eric Anderson. So he used to be the producer of Toginet. So it's his birthday today, and there
Well,
you go.
happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I was dreaming about this. No, I mean, I thought
Clever.
about opening it up with all you gotta do is dream.
Oh,
But
that yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everly
But
Brothers.
you wouldn't be singing it, right? You would.
I'd be singing it. I
Oh,
love
God
it
help us. No, you don't want to do that.
if you say so.
I've heard it.
You've heard my singing?
I have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, we do have someone on the show today, and I'll let you introduce him because you know him better than I do.
I do. He's von Braschler, and he's an author of many books on consciousness development, dreams, energy healing, and time. And he's, been around. He's lectured and led workshops throughout the United States and the the Kingdom, United Kingdom. And he's here with this new book, and it's called Programming Your Lucid Dreams.
So why is he on our show if he's been all around the world?
Well, he takes pity on some people.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
okay.
well, welcome to the show, Vaughn. Evidently,
Thank you, Ron. Hi, Marla.
you weren't aware what you were getting into, but that's fine.
It's all right. It's all right.
So I'm very much interested in dreams. I found out not too long ago, and my mom was passing, that she told me that my great great grandfather in Poland uh, lived in the village, and when people died, they would go to him, and he would dream about them and bring back messages. So, is that what we're talking about? There's actually a consciousness that we can connect with those who have passed, or is it just our imagination?
Well, yes. I mean, we do have those kind of dreams where we talk to the past. Isn't it interesting that a lot of people, when they recently have lost someone, usually in the first like 3 days or so after that person passes, that person will come to them in a dream and talk to them. And it'll be very vivid. It'll be extremely lucid and clear and colorful.
Mhm. Yeah, the number one, what I call the number one sighting of ghosts is what I call messenger ghosts, and that is someone
Yeah.
who has just passed after, shortly after they have passed, they'll appear to a loved one. And I know what happened to my mom, who didn't believe in any ghosts or anything else, but my dad died at family cookout, and sure enough, that night he showed up in her bedroom, all dressed up in a suit and everything. But she wasn't dreaming. She swears she was wide awake because she screamed and woke up half the house. Uh, so it's is I believe that totally. I believe, and I've heard so many other reports of people that have experienced the same thing. In fact,
It happened to me when my dad died. He certainly never believed in ghosts or the power of dreams, but when he died, and he died rather suddenly and rather young, he appeared to me, and we he walked up to me and he said, I want to talk to you, son. And he had a funny grin on his face, and he wasn't a guy that was filled with humor. So I thought, what's he up to? And he said, I really didn't die. He said, you were confused. You had a dream. You had a dream that I had died, but actually, you were confused. Your mother died. I didn't die. I said, you died. And he said, oh, I almost had you go on, didn't I? And he laughed and then
Oh my God.
he disappeared. And I thought, that is like wild. I mean, nothing like this ever happened, in regular time because he had no sense of humor, He didn't play tricks on people and it was just totally out of character. But it was to me someone who was one finally carefree and happy.
That seems so neat. And especially with you would think that if somebody's coming back right away, they would be like sad and I'm sorry I left or,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. And here you got a smile, a laugh or a giggle at least.
yeah, yeah. He just came to tickle me. It was funny.
Oh, wow. That's neat. That's very, very neat. Um, yeah, no, I think, people might know, what dreams are. There's, thousands of different kinds of dreams.
Hmm.
But what makes lucid dreams lucid? I mean, what are
Yeah.
they different from the normal? Well,
Well, first and foremost, you're conscious of being in the dream. You're conscious of the dream. You own the dream. You are, in fact, in some control of the dream. And beyond that, they're very vivid. They're often colorful. They're detailed. You're aware of being in the dream and of the dream, and you're in some command of the dream. Um, and they're just more impactful and more meaningful and more vivid than any other kind of dream.
mm-hmm. And you know this, but I did have a couple of lucid dreams, but I didn't know what they were
Yeah,
until I read the book and talked to you.
yeah,
I just, the only thing when I thought I woke up, I just looked at the cat and said, that
yeah,
wasn't a dream, you
yeah.
know? And
My cat's always dreaming, and I always say, "What are you so smiling about?" My little black cat here, and he says, it's like you wouldn't get it. It's like I know, yeah, right. I wouldn't, but my very first dream was a random, out of the blue, lucid dream, and it was so jam-packed with meaning and insight and it was so real. I mean, it was like you grabbed me and you put me in a bag and you took me in another room and let me out of the bag and I walked around for a little while. I mean, it was like really, really vivid. And it's like I wasn't even asleep. I mean, I was so conscious of everything.
Mhm.
And when I came from that dream, it's not like I was just waking up from this long slumber because I was really alert, and this is the thing too, and you're in a state of heightened consciousness, right?
Mhm.
And the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to return to the dream. I never wanted to stop dreaming. And I worked so many years trying to figure out how to actually on command program and enter a dream and control the dream and return to the dream and do it reliably, not just haphazardly, sporadically, like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Before we go on, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get involved in this? And, do you have any what's your background basically?
Well, I mean, I was living on a mountain in Oregon when I first had my first really lucid dream that I was aware of was a lucid dream. And we were snowed in, and I had lost power and lights, and it was cold, and I had nothing to eat, and I had no dry firewood to burn,
Ouch.
and the pipes were all frozen and I couldn't get anywhere. And I couldn't find my car. It was literally buried in the snow. And and then I had this lucid dream and I said, everything's gonna be all right. And then I spent the whole next week or so trying to re-enter that dreamscape and set it up and try to figure out how I'd done it, and
Mhm.
how to return to it and refine the process. And I started reading voraciously everything I could, and I found my books of yoga and shamanism to be extremely helpful. But I have to admit that after I did dig myself out of the snow, I went back and visited my teacher on Orcas Island in the San Juans off the Pacific coast, and his name was a psychic named Louis Gittner. And I spent some time with him learning how to get into altered state of consciousness. He was extremely good at it. He would go into deep, deep, deep trances. And he was a medium. And and then I knew a woman who was extremely skilled in trance work, and her name was Spotted Dove. And she taught me how to enter the dreams and meet with my spirit animals. It was really interesting.
Hmm.
So that started me off, and that was the winter of 1980.
Oh, wow.
And what were you teaching? I mean, at the Institute of Holistic Studies,
Yeah,
were you talking
yeah,
about that?
yeah, that was a little later. At that time, the most fun I had was doing Kirlian photography.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was aware that there were other levels of reality and other layers that people were missing. And I could see that very clearly in my Kirlian photography work.
Hmm.
There you go.
And so, lucid dreams, are they? Are they a useful tool, or what are they exactly? To you.
I think they're extremely useful on a practical level for things. But I also think that they're essential, and I think they're profoundly essential to anybody who wants to grow, because I think that our inner consciousness is truly our inner spirit, and that spirit longs to be free and explore. It longs to grow, and it longs to go out and find things. And we keep it all bottled up. And for most of us, the only time that inner spirit ever gets free to grow and discover and learn is when we're dreaming. And this happens rather sporadically. And it's done it kind of happens when we're, well, let's just say it, when we're asleep. And by that I mean that we're not aware of the dream. And the dream just happens. And it happens on our inner consciousness. Um, it's a dream where our spirit, roams and discovers things and sees things. And it needs to, but it's all bottled up inside us. It's not integrated to us on a body, mind, spirit basis.
So, is it kind of like remote viewing or astral projection?
Yes and yes, absolutely. I think that actually we go somewhere in our dreams. Now, I believe very much in time travel. I think that there is really a fluidity to time and space, and the only thing that keeps us here is our fixation on being here and now, and our five senses being anchored to one spot. It's all that our perception will allow us to anchor us to. Um, but uh, in a lucid dream, we can go outside of space and time. And now this could be seen in different ways. Do we actually go somewhere? Do we actually go thousands of miles away? Or do we have this whole idea of space and time kind of confused in our own minds? Is it is it is it really somewhere else? I'm not saying it's just inside your head like your imagination, but we go somewhere. And that's true in remote viewing. It's true in out of body astral projection, that we go somewhere. We actually visit other places with our consciousness. Our energized consciousness leaves us. And our energized consciousness is our spirit that is free to roam. It is not anchored here. It is not anchored by our five senses and our obsession with being, in a material sense, located in this thing we call here and now.
Mhm. I took a workshop with Dr. Yang, who does quantum spoon bending, and one of the exercises that we did was that we would send our other self out to
Yeah.
bend the spoon and come back. Is this kind of what we're talking? There's another
That,
self.
that's exactly what we're talking about. So we have to think of the how our we are energized, and our consciousness is also energized. And there is untold energy flowing through our body at all times, and that conscious energy is present on many levels of our being. Certainly, our astral double. Certainly, our mental body, our causal body, our spiritual bodies, which then become spiritual bodies, energized spiritual bodies, subtle energy bodies that can leave and go somewhere and do something. One of my favorite things to do, whether it's lucid dreaming or if you want to call it remote viewing, is or out of body, is to go to my special healing place. And that special healing place is a physical location, and it's also a non-physical location, if that makes any sense at all. Don't get me started on altars, because I believe in astral altar building. But but
Oh,
but I go there at times when I'm feeling not well. I mean, physically or spiritually or emotionally, it doesn't matter. And I encourage people to actually go to their special healing place in their lucid dreams.
Yeah, these are all tied into each other. I mean, every single one of these modalities are
Mm,
seem like they're interconnected. I mean,
yeah,
my good friend Maureen Wood, she is very much into now quantum jumping, which is
yeah,
going into another, uh, well, see, dimension, universe. It depends how you say it.
yeah,
Yeah, and you can actually witness yourself doing things.
yep.
And yes, so I mean, it seems like they're all connected. Is there one modality, a common thread that's going through it, or is it just a series of different modalities that are somehow connected?
Well, I'm
Or
with you,
patient?
Ron. I'm with you. I think that they're all connected. I think that it is a matter of reaching an awareness, conscious awareness of altered states of reality, altered states of thinking, altered states of consciousness. And all we have to do is just, it's like throwing a switch. It's like altering this vision we have of what we are, and who we are, and how limited we are. I mean, we're not that limited.
Mhm.
All of these modalities are, in fact, extremely connected. I'm working on something now called the Ways of Magic. It's all connected.
Oh well, yeah. And is there?
yes.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Well,
no, go ahead.
no, you're on.
All right. I just was doing a little stuff, and and I was reading the book, and it really surprised me that this isn't anything new.
Mm-mm.
The history of
No,
legitimate dream work goes way back in time, huh?
goes way back, at least 5,000 years. We're talking about 3,000 BC, the Chaldeans, the ancient Sumer, the oldest city state, the king of Sumer, had a lucid dream of how to build his temple. And based on that, we have the first viable city state called Sumer. And then following that, we have the Assyrians and the Babylonians. all in that area following that same prescribed reliance on learning and seeing in our dreams. Where we go in our dreams and what we learn in our dreams is, they believe that the dreams could be divinely inspired, because there was information outside of us in a dream that would be helpful. And they believed of dreams and of prophecy, and believed of dreams of speaking to the divine. They believed in healing themselves and diagnosing their illness and seeing into the future, prophecy. So we have like the Gilgamesh, the period of the Mesopotamians, and Gilgamesh and his great journeys, where he documents all that he sees and does. And then we have from that the Egyptians following them. They believed in dream temples, and there would be attendants, and there would be a dream bed. And you would go on upon your dream bed, and your dream attendant would help you enter a state of lucid dreaming, putting you deeply physically to sleep, putting your physical mind to sleep, and entering this special place we call the lucid dream. And they believe that not only were dreams of prophecy and dreams of the divine, but also dreams of what ails you, and things that you desperately need to know. Insight.
Does
Everything old is new again, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Seemingly,
yeah. So I mean, we talk about Aristotle as like the father of knowledge, or Hippocrates, the father of medicine. These were ancient Greeks that believed deeply in the power of lucid dreaming.
Hmm,
So do you
interesting.
have to be physically asleep to dream?
No, no, no. It's just easier. It's just easier, and it's more relaxing, right? But yeah, to the point. No, I think what we call a lucid, a waking dream. In Buddhism, they talk about the eyes open meditation. I think that in the same way, you can enter a dream seated in a chair. I mean, you don't want to do it driving your car or
Mhm.
walking down the street. I've tried doing walking down the street. It can be a bit dangerous, but you should be in a quiet place, in a secluded, safe place. It would be nice if you had a spotter, but you should be out of harm's way. And but you could do it in a chair. You could just recline on a sofa, you
I've
know.
had, I've had many experiences of what I call waking dreams, and where my eyes are open, I'm conscious,
Yeah.
but I am absolutely somewhere else. I can see everything, I can hear everything, and it's weird. It's to the point, like, at one time I was with my wife, and I says, Janet, can you see this or can you hear this? And she says, no, I don't see anything. But I was definitely, it was as real to me as the natural environment I was in.
Yeah, and that is exactly like remote viewing, don't you think? I mean,
It is. It's
I don't
weird.
see the difference.
I
People
don't.
try to tell me there's a difference. There's no difference. It's the same thing we're talking about. Your consciousness goes somewhere and sees something in great detail and with great accuracy, and you're
When,
conscious of it.
yeah. When we go have an operation, they put you under anesthesia. The anesthesiologists don't really know where your consciousness goes.
No.
It does go somewhere because it's totally unaware, uh, and yet it comes back in when the effects of the anesthesia wears off. But you
Yeah.
you definitely have you have that spot where we don't know, we don't understand the consciousness, which is the big problem. Is we
Well,
just
I think that's the thing. Our consciousness exists independent of our physical mind or brain. It's independent of our physicality.
Mm.
People have been physically dead, brain dead, and they've had dreams. It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyways, that's the pizza from the dead, which means or the Jehovah Witnesses, whatever you prefer. And it's time to take a break. So you're listening to Ghost Chronicles Book of Shadows right here on TogiNet with Marla Brooks and Ron Kolick, New England's own Van Helsing. And our special guest today is Dream Miser, since he's got a Vaughn.
He's a dream miser. That's
Dream
good.
Miser. Well, he's got Vaughn. I like that. The Dream
like that
Miser. Von Braschler. I like that. Anyways, I'm sorry. Hope I didn't insult you.
No.
But anyways, we're brought to you by Circles of Wisdom, 386 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts. The Gallant Messier Family Law Group, 55 High Street, North Andover, Massachusetts. Our very good friends on Ghost Chronicles Radio on Patreon, of course. And you can get exclusive stuff there for Patreon members of the Dead Air Society. And my very good friend, Leslie Martin's Reiki Infused Candles on Estee. How do you say that? Etsy? I don't know, whatever it is. Go check it out. You know what I'm talking about. I don't, evidently. So, yeah. And we'll be back with the Dream Miser. All right, I gotta go. We'll be right back after the following messages. Oops.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Located in Illinois, there lies a sleepy little town where nothing is a common occurrence.
You going to that party in town tonight?
Heck yeah! I only turned 18 once.
That is until the night of celebration.
Where the hell is she? Oh no. No, Jessica!
What's happening?
From the creators of Shadowhunters, Bite Me, comes a tale of primal terror and grindcore mayhem. Shadowhunters, kill, Jessica, kill!
Are you reading me? Come in. Hello? Greetings from the Shadow, and welcome to Shadowzine. My name is Jeff Belanger. I'm an author, podcaster, and explorer of the unexplained. For 30 years, I've been investigating the paranormal, UFOs, monsters, and things that bump in the night. Lately, you may have noticed how major TV networks and even social media networks have been pushing our favorite subject back into the shadows. I say good. That's why I launched Shadowzine, a monthly underground publication that covers your favorite topics in depth by some of the leading writers and researchers out there. If you're looking for 30-second TikTok clips, go somewhere else. If you're ready for a deeper dive, put down your phone and pick up Shadowzine. You can't find it in stores. This is old school print. Head to shadowzine.com and be part of the underground revolution. That's shadowzine.com, and I'll see you in the shadow.
And we're back. I'm Marla Brooks. Ron Kolick is still with us, and our guest is Von Braschler. And we're talking about his new book, Programming Your Lucid Dreams. And that's where to get to the point that you can start telling us how we can do that, I think.
Ron?
Yeah. I think that the important thing is to prepare for the outbound journey, and a lot of people who go on a vacation or a trip, they think, well, we got to plan where we're going to go and what we're going to see and how we're going to get there and what we're going to be looking for and what we expect to get out of the trip. In other words, when you're going to make a major trip, you have a lot of planning into it. So I think that the most important thing is to plan the dream and actually set an agenda as to where you're going to go. So the first thing I always encourage people to do is to recline and to get into a very reflective mode where you're going deep inside yourself and you're thinking like, what is it I really need to explore? What is something I really need to see? And it might be some place that you've dreamed about in the past that you want to dream about, or something that you really need to investigate or reconcile or discover. And it could be a problem that has bothered you, but it's something that means something to you. In other words, where do you want to go? And then you begin to draw a picture. Begin to draw a picture of where you're going to go, without words, without sounds, because when you do that, you're 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 triggering your analytical mind into all kinds of things. And you know what happens in our minds? It's just an endless mind loop of chatter and confusion. And it's really not very clear. Uh, dare I say it, we're not clear thinkers. But we need to be very focused on our intent of where we're going to go and what we're going to see and what we want to experience in our dream. We draw a picture, and that picture then becomes a map of where we're going to go. Now, you don't have to be a great artist, but you do need to put some time into producing a picture because the picture is what's going to take you there. And then what you need to do is then you recline. The ideal way is to do it on your back. You can do this in a bed or on a mat or on the floor with a blanket or on a sofa. I like to think of putting the legs at a 45-degree angle, maybe the arms outstretched, nothing crossing, and and then you get very, very still, very, very quiet, and you go deep inside yourself. Now, I'm not going to tell people that they need to meditate to go into a dream, but they do need to get very relaxed. And the most important thing to do is to put the body to sleep, starting at the feet and consciously working up the body from the feet to the torso, to the arms, the chest, the head, putting the body to sleep. Then lastly, putting your physical mind to rest and assuring it that it's going to be quite safe and it's going to be relaxed from the experience of dreaming. And then when you feel very, very heavy and very, very dense and very, very deep into yourself, then you begin to focus on that picture that you've drawn. You study it, and then you put it into the back of your consciousness. You just tuck it away, and you prepare yourself to go into the dream. You prepare yourself emotionally. You prepare yourself on a very deep level that when that map comes before you again, you're going to follow it into your dream. It'll be a cue. And then you call back your image that you've drawn, and you're studying it inside before your mind's eye. You're looking at it. You're studying it, and you're becoming one with the map. And then you allow yourself to enter the dream. And then at this point, your inner consciousness is totally in charge. And it's directing the dream and taking you there. And you go, and the first thing you'll notice when you begin the dream is that you're somewhere else. You're in another spot, another realm, perhaps. You're far from the room where you're reclining. And you look around yourself and you orient yourself and you assure yourself you're indeed actually there. You're really there. You're highly conscious of being there. And you become observant of details in the room. Who else is there? What else is in the room? Where are you? And then you become very aware of everything that happens. You become a very good witness to everything that you see, because you're going to be learning in this experience. This is something that's been produced for you to experience and to learn from. When you feel that you have learned what you were meant to see, you'll know that the dream has ended, and you'll automatically think back then to your body, reclining on its back, and you'll return instantly without any effort to your physical body. And you'll still be a little bit in the dream, so you need to slowly awaken from the dream. Don't open your eyes too soon. And you lie there when you've returned from the dream, and you experience what it's like in that dream, and you begin to relive it, and you review it in your mind then, and you just let it wash over you. Do not analyze it. Just let the dream wash over you. Think of the images. Think in terms of images, not words, images, always pictures. It's very important that you're image oriented. And then when you feel that you've done that, then you can open your eyes, and then you allow your mind to experience what your consciousness has already experienced. And you take ownership of the dream, and you become the dream. The dream becomes you. You become the message that you've experienced.
It's interesting.
When it's time for you to rise from the dream, then you slowly get to your feet. And what I encourage people to do is sit down at a desk very quietly and just produce an outline of what you've experienced. Just the images. Don't analyze it. It's very important not to overanalyze a lucid dream. It's a very, very powerful spirit produced image that you've experienced, and it's not something that can be just cataloged with all your other memories. It is outside of those memories. Now you can actually, if you go through this process of actually owning the dream and letting it wash over you and taking it inside you and then making an outline of it, you can actually then become conscious of the fact that you have this ability to enter the stream. You have a known place. And then it'll be easier then in the future to set up a return to that dream. And you can have a repeat dream. You could have recurring dreams or even continuation dreams. You can even dream with other people as shared dreams.
I'd be scared about that. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Who's there, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, no offense, Ron, but I don't think I'd want to be in your dreams.
Why?
Scary.
You were
Just
the other
scary.
day. You were the other day.
Sure. Maybe you were there. I don't think I was. Yeah.
Oh, you don't know that. You just don't remember that song.
Oh, he's sneaking in on me. Okay.
Anyways,
But dreams of this sort become actually dream work. And maybe we shouldn't use the word work because it sounds like it's hard, it's like toil. It's actually very pleasant. And it's very relaxing for the physical body to allow itself to be this consciously put to rest. It's very nice. And for a lot of us that go to sleep every night and have sporadic common dreams, it's the first time you're really going to feel rested because you've consciously put your physical body and mind to rest.
so what you call average dreams are those are nothing to do with
No,
any of this lucid stuff, correct?
no, it's really, really different. Because these most of the dreams we have are common dreams, are like nightmares. They're things that concern us. They're concerns of the day. They're memories that are being sorted out endlessly in our physical brain, which is not, sadly, not properly put to rest at night and just keeps working at a kind of a reduced speed. And it's trying to process this information and make some sense of it. Never lets go. It jealously safeguards its treasury of memories and thoughts. And it just keeps sorting through and sifting through all of these concerns. But as my teacher Lewis always said, I mean, you couldn't solve these problems when you were wide awake and alert. I mean, how do you expect the brain when it's half asleep to produce any answers for you? And it can't.
Is it really half asleep though, or is your brain is the noise just really shut off and then your brain is not distracted by the reality of the day and it can work on its own?
Well, it's playing through different loops of thought, just different memory loops
Mhm.
or programmed loops of information. It keeps playing them out in order to try to resolve various concerns that you have not let go. And this is also a product of not putting the body to sleep where you're emotionally still active, your mental body is still alert, your emotional body is still half alert, and you're still trying to go through this. You still will be like influenced by the five physical senses. So as a result, I always encourage people, if they want to do serious lucid dream work, never to do so with incense or fragrances, never to use it with sound like trickling water, or never to like use gongs, because this will trigger experiences and responses within you that are kind of um, have been produced and cataloged and then replayed,
Program.
like, yeah, programmed like your past memories, and and we're very influenced by how we see things perceptively based on our five physical senses.
Yeah, it's interesting that everything you talk about I see the common thread to a lot of these modalities but this one seems to be almost in a state of well, but you're awake though, so it's not like, is it like, I'm trying to think of, when you do like yoga and stuff and you get into that state, is it the
Yeah.
same
it is the same as reaching a high state of consciousness, conscious awareness
Yeah.
in a yoga setting. But most people sadly never reach this level of yoga. They will be kind of stuck on kind of one foot in the physical world and one foot outside the physical world, and it's just kind of awkward. It's just awkward, and it's kind of sad that most people never are really trained to do serious meditation. They never learn to really enter silence. And you must learn to enter silence because in that silence are all of the answers. You have to walk through various levels of silence in order to get someplace where there's lucidity, because we're just bombarded by chatter and distractions and confusion everywhere about us.
So when you go in these lucid dreams, you're divorced of your
Yeah.
body's consciousness, so you are distracted by your environment that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is you're tuning out your physical mind, your brain. And I think that it's kind of sad that people think that they can train their brain to be a better brain. No, the brain is what it is, and and you can't really train your mind. Your mind trains you. It's totally in charge, and so all you can do is just kind of like put it on hold and hope for better angels to guide you. And those better angels are all the voice within, the voice within you. And it is your inner self that needs to speak to you. And that is as important to your being as anything you have, perhaps more. So what we're talking about is stilling or quieting the physical mind, which I call the little pocket calculator that tries to run your life,
Mhm.
and just tune it on, just turn it off. And you say, well, how do you turn it off? How do you really turn it off? And I used to do these workshops in meditation, and people couldn't get there. They just couldn't get there because they said, well, we've been told that, I would hear this a lot, that it's okay if I could hear some things, and I would kind of like conscious in the room, but yeah, it was still meditation. Well, it's quiet. It's quiet time, but it's not really meditation. The kind of meditation I'm talking about is where you not only tune down the volume of your television, where you put it on mute and you zap the picture. It's where you go behind and you pull the cord. There's no power going to it anymore.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about entering a place of darkness and stillness, because out of that darkness, consciousness comes. And in that stillness come the answers we need to hear.
So you mentioned earlier, way back in the beginning of the show, that when you do this, you should have a spotter because is there a chance that you're not going to return? Is that the
No, there's not that kind of a chance, because you are karmically, energetically, magnetically linked to your physical body, and you always know where it is. It's like my teacher used to call it the rubber band. You just like zip in your back. It's the rubber band effect. He also had other ways of describing the rubber band, which on a karmic level, that are kind of colorful, but for a different discussion. But it's just like a rubber band. Yeah.
so what is the purpose of a spotter then?
The spotter, the spotter is intended to keep you safe, physically safe, um, while you're away, body, mind, and spirit. Well, your spirit is roaming, but your body and your mind are kind of in a prone position. So I think it's extremely important that you're in a safe place. I always say if you're going to enter a lucid dream, you need to be in a place that's enclosed, private, safe, um, and away from everything. It needs to be a safe, secluded place. No, it doesn't have to be like a vault, but it needs to be like a quiet room,
Mhm.
And the idea of a spotter is simply to stand guard over your physical self.
Oh, okay.
Not that you're going to be lost in the dream and can't return from the dream, but you know, you don't want someone to come and cart you away or something.
That would
Or,
be interesting. Yeah.
or steal everything while you're sleeping.
That's
That-
it. Pick
there's-
your pockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intriguing. So, if somebody wanted to find out more about you, Vaughn, how could they do that?
Well, I have a website, vaughnbraschlerwebsite.com, or go to my Facebook. It's Facebook / V Braschler, and it's very easy. Or you can go to Amazon and there's all these silly things of what I do and what I'm about. But yeah, I write all the time.
So, your name is spelled
Yeah,
BonBraschler. That's
yeah.
BonBraschler.
Extra letters. It's Dutch.
Ah,
Dutch treat.
close
Yep.
to a dream miser.
Yeah. Close second cousin to a dream miser.
So, do you have any workshops or anything coming up?
No, I mean I've kind of reached the point where closest thing I can do to a workshop is shows like yours, Ron. I don't get out. I mean I'm pushing 80, so I don't leave home as much as I did,
Mhm.
much as I'd like to, but I want to I want to continue the work. So I like to get on the air and do these podcasts.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
he
I mean,
lives on an island, and I am so jealous.
get out of
Yeah,
here.
Oh my
yeah,
God. Tell
yeah.
just a little bit about the island.
Okay, it's a secluded little island. We can take a little ferry and get to the mainland easily, but it's a quiet little island in the San Juans near Vancouver. And we're off the Washington State coast, and we have as our neighbors these wonderful orcas that float around in the harbor. And I have like a dozen, 15 deer in the backyard,
Oh, wow.
and chipmunks and various birds and these
Rabbits
rabbits. The rabbit is now taking charge of everything.
with the chicken. I saw that.
The
Yeah.
chicken and the rabbit. Yeah.
See, so, you're happy there.
Yep.
And yeah, and I'm jealous, but that's okay. Um,
Well, thank you. I don't get pizza delivery from the dead, though. I mean, I'm jealous of
Ah,
that.
take the
That's
fake.
cool.
I don't know where we got that. That came up 100 years ago.
There
So
it is. Yeah.
see, it's coming. They want
They,
their
they they deliver, but they ring the bell. That's nice.
yeah. That's intriguing. So I want to thank you, and I didn't expect the demonstration, and that was intriguing. And people can actually, it's a podcast as well, so they can replay it and try it for themselves. So I think that's
Read the book first.
yeah,
Important.
of
Yeah.
course, read the book, but that
Yeah.
your voice is so calming and relaxing, it works out perfect. I could never do that.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and anyways, we do have to wrap it up. You've been listening to, what are we here? Oh yeah, Ghost Chronicles.
Come back, Ron. Come back.
I know, I've been traveling. Every all this time, and I look at it, and I keep thinking of all the other things. We have like Padre Pio, who can do. He can make a doppelganger of himself, be in two places at once, and And that I said, Jesus, is that a lucid dream? And you have people like Tesla, not Tesla, yeah, Tesla, and who never wrote things down, what was able to visualize different projects and build it from his mind, where maybe he was actually a lucid dream where he drew those in his mind. I don't know. These are all interesting things, but I find it fascinating uh, how they're all connected and everything. And thank you so much, Juan, for being with us today. That was quite enjoyable.
Thank you. Anytime, my friend. Thank you.
Okay. So
Yeah, he
anyway,
can talk about a lot of stuff, by the way. Just telling you.
well, there you go.
He's coming.
Anyways, you're listening to it's not too many things to do out in that island. We
Yeah.
do got to go now, anyways.
Uh,
I blew through all my credits. Anyway, good night, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Mallard. Good night. God bless everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.